Welcome back, everybody, to the second part of our winter gathering. And so we have a lovely surprise for you now. We're going to have, I think, maybe some magic from Adrian Rook and Joe Dunbar. And Adrian is a ritualist, he's a celebrant and a therapist. And he's been a Druid for 27 years and one of the earliest members of OBOD. And he's also the press officer for OBOD for 18 years. And Joe Dunbar is a medical herbalist, an author, and she's been running workshops with Adrian for the past 5 years, based on the magical trees of the Ogham calendar. So, welcome, Adrian and Joe. I'm going to hand over to, well, we'll just wait to see people come in. We've still got a few. Somebody from Keynsham, just wait until people come in. Somebody from Bristol, welcome. Hi, Ellie from Kent. I'm from Dorset, Aberdeenshire. Welcome back. Wigan. Oh, Tampa, Florida. The sun is just rising. You're very, very welcome. Good morning from Tennessee. Lovely. Yes, that is Mistletoe behind them. And from the Netherlands, Michigan. That's wonderful. Great. So many from the US. And it's much, much earlier. And Northants. I don't know where that is. Just lovely to see you all. Great. And Germany. Welcome. And from Devon and Italy, France, lovely, great. Ohio, brilliant. And Scotland, lovely. So I'm going to hand you over to Adrian and Joe, and let's go from there.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to my home. You're all most warmly welcome to my place. Many blessings to you all. We're going to have an experience and we're going to try to enact our mistletoe ritual as best we can in these unusual times. So welcome, welcome, and thrice welcome.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for our mistletoe ceremony. We'd like you to just take a minute or two to listen to this music which is playing, because this music is taken from the mistletoe, which comes from the farm where Adrian and JJ used to cut the mistletoe for the ceremonies. It's taken with the machine that Dave mentioned earlier, the Music of the Plants device, which comes from Damanar, and I have one of these machines. So we'd like you to just enjoy this solstice blessing directly from the mistletoe to you.
Just allowing yourselves to be imbued and blessed by the song and the spirit of All Hill. Maybe closing your eyes for a moment or two and just allow this song to wash over you and through you, blowing away any of the cobwebs of the dark times, offering that little spark of inspiration and hope.
So we're going to begin the ceremony with the lighting of the candles.
So I light this central candle as a representation of the returning light of the sun god, born again at solstice, to once again return hope, light, warmth, and crops across these lands and within the people of these lands.
And I light this candle in the east in honor of the air kingdom, of the birds and the insects, the butterflies and the sylphs. And I light the candle in the south in honor of the fire kingdom, the salamanders, the dragons and the humans. And I light the candle in the west in honor of the watery kingdom, the fish, the undines, the selkies, and the gods, Manannan, Poseidon, and Neptune. And I light the candle in the north in honor of the mineral kingdom, the tree people, the herbs, our vegetables, mushrooms and mycelia, the dryads, the fairies, the gnomes, the sprites, and the leprechauns of the earth kingdom.
And so we move on into the mistletoe. From the earliest times, mistletoe has been one of the most magical and mystical and sacred plants of all of our European folklore. It was considered to bestow life and fertility, a protection against poison, and an aphrodisiac. The mistletoe of the sacred oak was especially sacred to the ancient Celts and the old Druids. On the sixth night of the moon, white-robed Druid priests would cut the oak mistletoe with a sickle. Legend has it that the sickle was gold, but that is open to dispute because you can't sharpen gold, and you'd probably be there for a long time trying to saw through the mistletoe. 2 white bulls would be sacrificed amid prayers that the recipients of the mistletoe would prosper. Later, the ritual of cutting the mistletoe from the oak came to symbolize the emasculation of the old king by his successor. Mistletoe was long regarded as both a sexual symbol and the soul of the oak. It was gathered at both midsummer and at winter solstices, and the custom of using mistletoe to decorate our houses at Christmas is a survival of the Druidic and other pre-Christian traditions. The Greeks also thought that it had mystical powers, and down through the centuries it became associated with the many folklore customs in the Middle Ages and later. Branches of mistletoe were hung from ceilings to ward off evil spirits. In Europe, they were placed over house and stable doors to prevent the entrance of witches. Hopefully not in my home. Didn't work here. It was also believed that the oak mistletoe could extinguish fire. This was associated with an earlier belief that the mistletoe itself could come to the tree during a flash of lightning. The traditions which were associated with the European mistletoe were transported to the Americas along with the process of migration.
So mistletoe has always been sacred to the Druids, both ancient and modern, and possibly because it lives up in that liminal space between heaven and earth. But also, it was known as all heal, and its healing properties are truly astonishing. And today in herbal medicine, we often use mistletoe mainly for 2 things, for blood pressure or for cancer. But in cancer treatment, it's really interesting because it's a wonderful example of the doctrine of signatures, which is a very old concept where they say The plant will show the doctor what it's used for. And mistletoe lives as a parasite or a semi-parasite on the tree, as does cancer. Even its shape is sort of like tumor-esque. And as does cancer live as a parasite off our bodies. The anthroposophical doctors in particular use Iscador as an injection, and it creates a tremendous fever and an immune response, helping the immune system to recognize the cancer cells and to destroy them. But it has so many more properties to it. It's a vasodilator, so really good for blood pressure. It increases insulin in the blood and is used for balancing blood sugar in diabetics. It's an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, and is especially useful in autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. It reduces obesity and increases muscle strength. It's an anticonvulsive action and it is helpful for epileptics. Protects the kidneys and the liver against oxidative damage and enhances wound and ulcer healing. It's also a potent antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal, and so powerful it's even been used in the treatment of AIDS and HIV. And so we can see that mistletoe is used for the really big conditions, and it's no surprise it was called All Heal, and that it was so awesome and so revered by the ancients. Alas, less so these days, but I'm sure amongst us Druids we do revere it as it ought to be. So we would like to move on now and tell you a story about the mistletoe and why we kiss under the mistletoe. Adrian is going to take you to Asgard, the realm of the Norse gods, with whom we also share our history. So we invite you to close your eyes and join him in the realm of the gods.
So, if it feels right for you to close your eyes and just to take a nice deep breath and allow that air to expel from your lungs slowly and gently, and then take another deep breath, and as you do, you find your surroundings fading away and you're moving to another world. You move from this world called Midgard into the realms of the Nordic gods, the realms of Asgard. And you find yourself in a crowd of gods and goddesses. In the center stands the most beautiful god of all. Shining with beauty, glowing with the light of love and joyfulness, wisdom and generosity stands Balder, the most beloved of all the gods, the Shining One. He is the son of Odin, the chief of the gods, and the benevolent sorceress goddess, Frigg. And he gladdens your heart simply by being in his presence. But there is consternation in Asgard. The gods are fearful, for Baldur has begun to have ominous dreams of some grave misfortune befalling him. Night after night, he has his terrible dreams that threaten to pitch him into the darkness forever. The fearful gods and goddesses have gathered around Baldur, and not one of them doubts that his life is in danger. They are discussing how to protect their beloved god. They are thinking of all the ways in which one can die, and they're naming each earth thing, each sea thing, and each sky thing that can cause a sudden death. Frigg, Baldur's mother, then travels throughout the 9 worlds to persuade each and every substance, creature, and element to swear an oath that will not harm Baldur. Fire swears an oath, water swears an oath, iron and every other kind of metal swears, the stones swear oaths, earth swears an oath, the trees swear oaths, Each kind of illness swears an oath. All of the animals swear an oath, and each slithering snake and scorpion all swear an oath never to harm Baldur. The gods and goddesses gather once more around Frigg in Asgard, and the goddess assures them that nothing in creation can harm Baldur. We should put it to the test, they say, and one picks up a pebble and threw it so that it lands right on Baldur's head. Whatever power that small stone had, it's withheld, and Baldur does not even know that the pebble has struck him. I did not feel it at all, he cries. All the gods and goddesses are laughing in relief, and they stream out of the hall into the sunshine. Their world teems with activities. The gods and goddesses discuss the feats and the fates of men in our world, Midgard. And after their councils, they meet to gossip, socialize, eager for amusement. Sometimes they drink, sometimes they sing. They make trials of their strengths, and they play all kinds of games. One of their favorite games was to sport with Baldur. You see him now standing against the wall as a target, and the gods and goddesses take turns to throw pointed darts at him and laugh as the darts fall harmlessly at his feet. Some bring stones and axes to throw at him, but nothing harms the fairest and most gentle of the gods. Everyone is enjoying themselves hugely, Baldur included, except one. Loki, the sly one, the trickster god, leans against the wall watching with distaste, impatience and jealousy. It begrudges him to see that Baldur immune from every kind of attack, and his grudge and resentment grows daily until it begins to consume all of him. And soon enough, his sly mind hatches a plan, and he makes his way to Frigg's hall disguised as an old woman. Frigg is alone in her hall, and Loki hobbles across the floor. You see Frigg rise to greet the old woman, who immediately starts to complain. I passed the place some way back. What a noise! The people were all stoning one man. Poor man. He had a white face, so white, and shining hair, one against all. I didn't know that that sort of thing went on in Asgard. I didn't stay long. I never did like stonings. He hadn't got long, poor man. He'll be dead by now, I presume. And then the old woman glares at the lovely goddess. What was going on then? Do you know why they were stoning him? Frigg gently explains that what she had seen was not a stoning, but a host of gods and goddesses sporting with her own son. She smiles and says that Baldur will not be hurt by a single stone, and was enjoying the game as much as everyone else. Nothing will hurt Baldur, Frigg assures the old woman. I've taken an oath from all things. Everything, spluttered the old woman. Even a pinch of salt, I suppose. Everything. You really mean that everything has sworn you an oath that it will not injure Baldur? Now, Frigg is growing tired with this old woman. She has things to do, tasks to achieve, and she dismisses her by saying, everything except the little bush that grows west of Valhalla, the mistletoe. It's so young and so innocent, I didn't even bother with it. and the old woman departs, satisfied. Loki is so pleased, and you see his malevolent smile as he hurries towards the west. All day he moves towards Valhalla, and finally in the fading light he enters a small grove. There the sly one finds what he had come so far for. Mistletoe. In the dusk its berries gleam like clusters of pale eyes. Its leaves are yellow-green, and its stem and small branches and twigs were green. Unmoving and otherworldly it seems, and even more strange in this half-light. Loki grabs at the little bush. He wrenches a piece of it away and departs the grove to go back to the gods. As he walks, he picks at the mistletoe, leaving a small trail of dropped leaves in his wake. He selects the straightest branch, almost as long as his forearm, and strips it, sharpening it at one end. The gathering of the gods are so caught up in their games that no one had even noticed that Loki had left. And now he returned. You watch as Loki sidles up to Hod, Baldur's blind brother, and you can see them conversing as Loki pretends concern for Hod. Hod, who always has been in his brother's shadow, always left out, unable to participate in the games. And amongst the roaring laughter of the crowd, you see how Loki places the mistletoe dart into Hod's hand. Blind Hod, guided by Loki, lifts his arm and hurls the mistletoe arrow straight towards Baldur's heart. As if in slow motion, you watch as the mistletoe dart flies through the air, and it strikes Baldur. It pierces him and passes right through him, and the god falls down onto his face. He is dead. There was no sound in the hall, no sound, only the roaring of silence. The gods cannot speak. They look at the fairest and most wise of them all, shining and lifeless, and they cannot even move to lift him. The gods stare at each other, and then they turn to stare at Hod and Loki. No one is in any doubt who has caused Baldur's death. Then the terrible silence is broken as one of the goddesses, seized by a wild grief, begins to weep. And the weeping of one unlocks the floodgates of them all. When they tried to speak their words, they were choked with tears. And now comes the time when we must leave the gods and goddesses in their grief to continue their sagas in the Nine World. But what of the mistletoe? Despite the tragedy, the goddess and gods do not punish or destroy this little plant. Instead, they place it between sky and earth, where it lights up the trees in wintertime with its glowing white berries and yellow-green foliage. And more so, they decree that humans should stop and kiss under the mistletoe to show that this is a plant of love and peace, not one of hatred, that should be forever known as a plant of love, peace, and healing. So keeping your eyes closed for one more moment, And now if you want to open your eyes, if you've closed them, and come back to our circle, to our ceremony here this day.
I am the spirit of Mistletoe. I am the all-heal. I hang suspended between earth and sky, a bridge between both realms, that of the air and the gods, and that of the earth and the mortals. My strong magic blends with that of my host tree to form a potent healing power. My berries are white as milk and snow, symbols of fertility and growth. I am the tears of Frigga, the mother goddess, shed for her son Baldur, the sun god. Mistletoe is the sperm of the gods, impregnating Mother Earth to bring forth new life in abundance. I bring healing and protection to body and to spirit, and life renewed to the earth.
And to celebrate those beautiful words, we're going to do 3 Arwens. Join us, if you will. And so before we come to the culmination of this little ceremony, which will be the placing of the mistletoe to the ground, JJ and I would just both like to share a couple of memories with you about why we're doing this mistletoe ceremony and you know how important it's became for both of us in our ritual year and our calendar of wonderful experiences to go and cut the mistletoe, and how profound and meaningful that's been for us. Ronald Hutton says that if you do something more than once, it becomes a tradition. And many years ago, I was blessed to be introduced to a man called Bryony and her husband, and they had an orchard of apple trees, and old ancient apple trees, and they didn't cut the mistletoe, and the mistletoe was flowing over the trees in huge abundance. And I said to him one day, could I take some mistletoe? And he said, take as much as you wish. And that was the beginning of my pilgrimage to his farm every year. Duncan, sorry, I meant to name him Duncan. He's passed into the Summerlands. And we would go to the mistletoe tree early before we came to Glastonbury for the gathering. And the whole process of cutting the mistletoe ritually and being part of that process, and also the abundance of mistletoe that we were able to bring with us to Glastonbury was quite immense, really. Their generosity was wonderful, and it's kind of very almost how it should be at the moment. It seems to be very right that particular process in gathering that mistletoe from those lands is coming to an end. The orchard now belongs to someone else, and they're using it commercially. So the mistletoe has been cut right back. New trees have been planted, old trees have been felled, and some have come down in storms. So this mistletoe comes from that land, and maybe this will be the last time. But that makes it all the more magical for me to be able to do this and share this moment with you people, because it would have been different. We couldn't have done what we would have done at the winter gathering as we have done in the past.
And I just want to honour Adrian for introducing me to that orchard through Brian, who's become a dear friend, and Duncan, whose death we were at, actually, pretty much.
Yeah.
A special time. But I can't overemphasize the nature of the depth and the richness of the experience each year. A deep pilgrimage. We gave over a weekend to the whole process of heading over, or weekend, a few days. It was before the assembly. This pilgrimage down to the orchard, and the special nature, that growing depth each year of entering into sacred space, sharing that journey, enriching our friendship through that as well, but enriching our relationship to the orchard, to the trees, and especially to the mistletoe. It's become a very key part of our lives. And we did often say when we were down there collecting the mistletoe, it was like, this is the best day of our year, or of our ritual year, and in many ways of the year. Very special. And we delighted in bringing that to Glastonbury. And the picture that I saw earlier, the background picture of all that mistletoe spread over the town hall floor, how amazing that is, and how beautiful, and the richness of the abundance of that mistletoe. We won't be able to gather quite that much ever again, but it just brings home those special times. And I give deep gratitude. Blessings.
And when Emer asked us to do something to contribute to this online winter gathering, it wouldn't have been complete without JJ, because he spoke about our friendship, which, I met JJ, I think 27 years ago. We both turned up to our very first autumn equinox ceremony together, alongside of Ronald Hutton. So the three of us all arrived at exactly the same time. And, OBOD provides, a vessel to meet some wonderful people as you travel your journey, inspirational people, but also to make very deep and long-lasting and special friendships, deep friendships. And so, it was lovely, and we wanted to keep JJ as a bit of a surprise and bring him in, because like the spirit of Christmas appearing. So no, it's lovely, and it's very right that we do this together. So now we're going to do what we've done every year for it seems like my lifetime. I can't, sometimes I can't remember a time before we did this. But we're going to cut the mistletoe, which hasn't touched the ground. This was collected from the same farm, and it was been kept off the ground ever since. So as part of our ceremony, we will place it to the ground for the first time. So.
All hail the mistletoe, on the sacred tree does grow. Our blessings we bestow, all upon the mistletoe, blessing the mistletoe.
Mistletoe, drawn from oak and apple, seed of rebirth and of new life, all heal of the ancients. May our lives be refreshed at its roots, reborn with every dawn. May all be healed, and may all be blessed.
Above and below, and all around you are. Above and below, and all around you are. You are the spirit of life, the essence of love. You are the Druid all heal, divine mistletoe. Sacred one, source within and beyond. Sacred one, source within and beyond.
And so we place this mistletoe to the ground, bestowing upon the world the union of the god and the goddess. The mistletoe bearers representing the sperm of the god to impregnate the goddess with the new year and the birth of the Mabon on solstice day. And so may you all be blessed. May from this point the healing of the mistletoe spread out through the internet, through the airwaves, all across this land at these times of difficulty, challenge. Yeah.
From our heart to your heart.
Yeah, from our hearts to your hearts. And may you all be blessed. May the land be blessed.
Blessings to the earth.
Blessings to the earth, Mother.
Yeah.
And we're going to sing a song. And if you know it, join in.
Green
of leaf and berry white, oak and thorn and apple bright, 'neath the moon on winter's night, with the sickle blade the Druids dance. All hail, all hail, all hail, all hail. Green and leaf and berry white, oak and thorn and apple branch, 'neath the moon on winter's night, with sickle blade the Druids dance. All hail, all hail, all hail, all hail. Green of leaf and berry white, oak and thorn and apple branch, 'neath the moon on winter's night, with sickle blade the Druids dance. All hail, all hail, all hail, all hail. And there was the golden sickle lurking. But we used another knife to cut it and cut the mistletoe.
So, can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a bit of time left over, and it's tradition that Adrian and JJ sing these little Christmas carols in the apple orchard. So, yeah, JJ. Yeah. So we thought we'd sing you some songs.
You got one?
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the time. We've got 20 minutes.
Okay.
Plenty of time.
So we're just going to use up some of this this time we wanted to save this because this is a time of joy. It's a time of celebration, and there's so much to be gloomy about, really. I mean, if you hear any of the news, it's all doom and gloom. But you know, it is what we make of it, and Druids have a way. Part of our teachings are that, you know, we try to deal with adversity with a smile and laughter, and love is the great healer. And, you know, listening to our three voices combined, I'm sure it'll give you a good laugh, if nothing else. But we're going to sing you some carols with a difference, and we're going to start off with to the tune of We Three Kings.
Moon of Silver. Yeah.
And it's called Moon of Silver. Maiden Mother, ancient crone, Queen of heaven on your throne, praise we sing thee, love we bring thee, for all that you have shown. O moon of silver, sun of gold, gentle lady, Lord so bold, guide us ever, failing never, lead us in the ways of old. Lord of darkness, Lord of light, gentle brother, King of might, praise we sing thee, love we bring thee on this solstice night. O moon of silver, sun of gold, gentle lady, Lord so bold, guide us ever, failing never, lead us in the ways of old. There we go. And if you found it that bad, you can sign out now. No, that was lovely. I think whoever's transformed these words, they're geniuses, whoever you are, because they came to me, and I didn't know who'd done this, but you know, many blessings on you, because it's brought much joy for the singing that, you know, that I'm able to do with other people. So it's been lovely. So we're going to do Silent Night now.
I think Ellen Reid gets the credit for
this. Ellen Reid gets the credit for this one. Yeah. Silent night, solstice night, all is calm, all is bright, nature slumbers in forest and glen, till in springtime she wakens again. Sleeping spirits grow strong, sleeping spirits grow strong. Silent night, solstice night, silver moon shining bright, snowfall blankets the slumbering earth, Yuletide welcome the sun's rebirth. Hark, the light is reborn, hark, the light is reborn. Silent night, solstice night, quiet rest till the light, turning ever the rolling wheel, brings the winter to comfort and heal. Rest your spirits in peace, rest your spirits in peace. And this next one is one of I think this is my favourite. And this is by Adrian Rook. That's interesting. Oh, come, all ye faithful, gather round the Yule fire. Oh, come to call back the sun. Fire within us, call the fire above us. Oh, come, let us invoke him. Oh, come, let us invoke him. Oh, come, let us invoke him, our Lord the Son. Yea, Lord, we greet thee, born again at Yuletide. Yule fires and candle flames are lighted for you. Come to thy children, calling for thy blessing. Oh, come, let us invoke him. Oh, come, let us invoke him. Oh, come, let us invoke him, our Lord the Son. Hey, hey. And hopefully on Tuesday morning, on the 21st, we'll be singing that at Stanton Brewstone Circle.
Very, very early in the morning.
Early in the morning to call back the sun. So we've still got a bit of time, so we've got a couple more. We'll sing this last couple, and then we'll close our little circle down, and wish you all well. So let's do God Rest Ye Merry Pagan Folk.
What's that?
It's second page in.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Here we go. God rest ye merry pagan folk, let nothing you dismay. Remember that the sun returns upon this solstice day. The growing dark is ending now, and spring is on its way. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. The goddess rest ye merry too, and keep you safe from harm. Remember that we live within the circle of her arms, and may her love give years to come a very special charm. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Okay, this one's not so druidic, but we're going to sing it anyway. I love it. It's really funny. It's called Dancing in a Wiccan Wonderland, and it's from it's got Alexander and Archer. So. Pagan sing, are you listening? Altars set, candles glisten. It's a magical night we're having tonight, dancing in a Wiccan Wonderland.
Wiccan Wonderland.
Blades on high, censers smoking. God and goddess we're invoking. Through elements fire we celebrate life, dancing in a Wiccan Wonderland. Queen of Heaven is in her place, triple goddess now grown face. Above and below, she's the goddess we know, dancing in a Wiccan Wonderland. Now the god is the provider, supplying game for our fire. Above and below, he's the horned one we know, dancing in a Wiccan Wonderland. In a circle by the fire, crown of power getting higher. It's a magical night we're having tonight, dancing in a Wiccan Wonderland. Right, one more and then we'll close the circle. And this one is right at the back, Lord of the Dance. I love this. I can remember singing this as a child. I do prefer these words, I have to say.
And I have a dream one year of printing it, getting the words so everyone can be singing them.
Yeah.
Virtually somehow getting them.
Well, we did think of that, but being that I'm technologically inept, There was probably a way computer-wise we could have done this, but anyway,
Do this your life.
maybe another time. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
So, the Lord of the Dance. I danced in the morning when the world was begun. I danced with the moon and the stars and the sun. I was called from the darkness by the song of the earth. I joined in the singing and she gave me birth. Dance, dance, wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he.
Joining that bit.
I sleep in the kernel and I dance in the rain. I dance in the sun and through the weaving grain. And when you cut me down, do not think I am gone, for I am the dance and I still go on. Dance, dance, wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. We dance even slower as the leaves fall and spin, and the sound of the horn is the wailing of the wind, and the call of the hunter as he rides across the plain. While the whole earth sleeps, till the spring comes again. Dance, dance, wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. The sun is in the southlands, but the days lengthen fast, and soon we will sing for the winter that is past. I will live in you if you live in me, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he.
All together.
Dance, dance, wherever you may be, for I am the Lord of the dance, said he, and I'll lead you all wherever you may be, and I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. Okay, so
Before you close,
Yeah.
I just had a thought. There are a lot of people who are suffering. Can we just take a few seconds to send healing and love out to those we know and those we don't know, right across the world? They're just from our hearts to them, using the spirit of the all heal. Look at our in it.
Yeah.
yeah, can I just say?
Yeah, sure.
There's an OBOD member who has been a dear friend of mine for many years, Lee. So we'll just send this Arwen to Lee for her
And
healing.
Wendy and Glenn.
And Wendy and Glenn who are in hospital.
And
So.
those we don't know.
And all those we don't know,
Yeah.
all the people you know that have Wayne,
Wayne as well.
yeah, lots of people in OBOD who aren't very well at the moment. You know, we send this love and light to you. May you be restored, regenerated, rejuvenated, and filled with, you know, the spirit of
Love and love.
the Sun God.
And just want to honour and bring in Fleur as well. She couldn't be with us today. She's looking after the children, but I just want to honour Fleur's contribution to getting me here.
A major contribution.
Yes,
indeed.
exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna do 3 Owens now, and then we're gonna blow out the candles, and then we're done. But we just wish you all love and you know, pray to the gods at this time that next year many of us will be able to meet together in person to share those wonderful hugs that and connections that Druids do so well. So yeah, many blessings to you all. Love and light at solstice.
Loads of love.
So candles and end this ceremony. May the joy that we shared and our love live on long within your hearts and in your minds.
And may this spill out for the good of all beings.
For the good of all beings. So, that's it.
Make a wish.
Yay. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Adrian, Joe, and JJ. And absolutely, and I know from the comments, people just loved the singing and the magic of the mistletoe and the ceremony as well. So I've put the link up. I found it. It's ladybridget.com has the lyrics to, and I just put it into the chat there so everybody can access those songs. I'd heard the Silent Night one, but I didn't realize they had so many of them had been reworded, as it were. That was absolutely beautiful, absolutely magical. And I know just people loved it, that the singing brought joy, happiness, and comments like, I really needed this. So thank you, the three of you, so much for doing this. Absolutely beautiful.
Bye-bye.
And don't have to get rid of you so quick.
I'm not kidding, I just can't.
I missed
that. I just thought we were saying goodbye.
Saying goodbye.
Ema, can we, how do we go on to, so I'd like to listen to what David had to say at some point. Can we go on to the OBOD site and listen to it again?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is up. It's on the OBOD. It's on my YouTube, Philip's YouTube, OBOD YouTube, and it's on OBOD Facebook. Absolutely. Okay. And yes, you'll be here for and you're on air as well. So so I love
the boys choir plus Joe.
Exactly. And I just love that you did the mistletoe, because that was one of the things I loved about the winter gathering, was the magic of the mistletoe. And of course, at our last winter solstice, we were able to show the film of the two of you. You know, this is the first time anyone got to see you actually harvesting it, and that was so magical. And I could see comments that Liz Cruz said it just brought back so many memories of the mistletoe ceremonies over the years, and so many people did. So it was just absolutely wonderful. So, like Sarah Duncan says, thank you. You've made my Yule today. Oh. So it's things like that you just bring that magic. And someone says, I have been and am grieving. You all gave me light. You know, it's just beautiful. Wonderful singing. So you don't know when you start doing this what impact it's going to have on people. And it's not the same as a real in the flesh ceremony, but it is a lifeline for so many people. Yeah.
And in a strange way, Ema, it probably reaches more people, because there's a limit to the amount of people that can be in the hall. So, you know, who knows? It might reach even farther. So,
well, absolutely. I mean, we've people from Australia, all over Europe, the Americas. Leonore Newson says, I'll be sending the love and healing of the mistletoe out to the world with Corrix Grove in Cornwall tomorrow. And somebody was very grateful for the healing properties of mistletoe. One guy is going to put mistletoe on his Christmas pudding so that he'll deal with his obesity. Or obesity.
That's a good idea. We'll do that too.
I just thought that was beautiful.
So, do you know, Ema, seeing the mistletoe in the background there on the floor of the hall, it's like being there. It really brings it back. You
can almost smell the room, can't you?
It's amazing. It's amazing to see that.
Yeah.
So Carol says she lost a dear cousin this week. It's very healing. Sorry to hear about that, Carol, and I'm glad that this ceremony was. And Sarah Duncan wants to know, will the ceremony on Tuesday morning be broadcast? I think the one that you're leading.
No. It's at Stanton Drew, so
it's live.
It's just a live. You know, hopefully it'll take place. No. There'll be as many people turn up, but you know we do it every year, so you know it's lovely. You know, anybody that lives in the west of England or wherever, you're all welcome. So.
But a few years ago, a camera team turned up from California. What was his name? Some famous guy. He was running a series of In Search of God, it was called, I think.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman, yeah.
Oh.
There was a team of about a dozen or more, and it was pelting with rain, really stormy, dark, and they were a courageous job trying to film it all, but they captured the essence of it.
Yeah, yeah. But I wouldn't do that again, right? Because we let them in on the understanding that they were unobtrusive, and it wasn't. They were sliding through the centre circle on skateboards with cameras. I mean, it was bizarre. So you live and learn, Emer, don't you? You live and learn.
It was a one-off.
It was a one-off. It was but I think the ceremony we have there is joyful, it's personal, and we'll dance and we'll sing and we'll sing the Sun God Home Again.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
There's just another question for you, Joe. This is from Matthew. I don't mean to offend, but I've been taught that mistletoe is poisonous. Is it okay to ingest?
Right. It is very much thought to be poisonous, but you're a herbalist, and I think both of us would say, for the layperson, I would maybe just hold it. But as practitioners, we can use it because we use it obviously with care.
Yeah.
I think rather just hold it rather than ingest it. It's not really poisonous, but it's a herb to hold in very deep respect. Would you say as well?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I would just say that, being the mad Druid, I have taken mistletoe for many years. You have to take responsibility for it yourself, but I'm just saying I'm still here, and I've taken mistletoe berries every year as long as we've done the ceremony. Just 3 actually, but I'm not recommending that. But I'm just saying it has been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just to reference the reference to the golden sickle, a German film crew came here last year and did a video or filmed me doing a ceremony. But in part of that film, it's in German. They talked about the golden sickle, but what was used, because they actually created one out of bronze, and new bronze looks golden.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I imagine they cut the mistletoe with a bronze sickle, and they tried it. It would show them making the bronze sickle and then going and harvesting it from the tree.
That's an interesting point.
So,
that's a nugget of information.
And this is steel sprayed gold, so
Close enough.
Listen, my love to the three of you, and thank you so much. We've gone a few minutes over time, and it's just been so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you,
Ema.
thank you, Ema.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye. So thank you all very much for coming to this part of our gathering, and we will meet again for at 4 p.m. That's Universal Time for our Alban Artan ceremony, which will be held by White Horse Camps. So in the meantime, Slán go fóill, and